Okay, welcome to everyone this morning. And what you're seeing is the November edition of this PowerPoint that we try to do twice a year for new people. And you can see on the screen here numerous aspects of what we have digitally for you all to access and utilize for your operations locally. I'm not going to delve into a ton of history, but it's appropriate that we share with you why we're where we're at today. And if we look back to the size of our operations in the mid 60s, you can see there some of those numbers on the screens as far as number of county conservation boards, areas, acreages, et cetera. Also a reference there to 1968, where we entered into an agreement with the DNR to work with them at their state fair booth for the next 40 years until we bailed on that, which uniquely was about the same time we got My County Parks rolling. And so in the bottom left-hand corner are today's numbers. It's quite the massive change from the 60s. A lot of this has occurred in numbers and acreages, et cetera, in the last decade. And so as we look at the scope of our statewide operations, the website became a really necessary reality back in the early 2000s. And so just briefly, the first name of the website was iowacountyparks.com. Well, that would be confusing with Iowa County. And so we didn't last very long with that. And as we purchased the URL in 2006, and mind you, the only reason for mycountyparks.com originally was to connect employees with our state fair booth, with our Winterfest event, and with just general knowledge about our system. We still find today with a turnover of employees that part of our marketing is internal in that we have to educate within across the state. As you may or may not know, 80% of our employees have turned over in the last 12 years. And so we are relatively a young industry and organization. And so we have a lot of education to do inside and out. And so by 2006, we were starting to put some notes on paper and trying to figure out what a website could look like that may benefit the statewide system. And no one knew where we were going, what it would look like, and so on. We went into the cyberspace, and we're still there trying to figure out where we're going. So some of the things that were scratches on paper in 06 took the better part of a decade to come about, where we wanted to have activities to choose from, an interactive statewide map. And I always use that picture of the Polk County IT department's basement with all the spaghetti, because that's really what I feel like my head is every day as the website has exploded on us and has just gotten bigger and a broader footprint and operations. So as we go through discussions here today, recognize that from day one when we launched My County Parks, it was an award-winning website, and it continues to earn recognition and awards every time we seem to make an adjustment or an improvement. And that's just a testament to you all and the work that you do on the website and support the website, because I'm just the person that coordinates the loose ends out here. But it takes all 99 of us moving in whatever direction you're moving at locally, but utilizing this website to help promote our system and our facilities and events and that. So consequently, we're kind of all in this together. And I know the little man with a hammer there in the bottom part of the screen is we all have that feeling probably daily about frustrations with computers. But there's some bullet points here that are important to remember as we continue our discussion. We've got to work consistently to improve, so your feedback is always important to us, so that we know frustrations you're having, frustrations that your customers may be having, what might be a good improvement for us, but we need that feedback. And it's really important, like we're doing here today, as we do in a lot of things that County Conservation in Iowa does, is that we work collectively together by Winterfest events, by regional training, by Zoom meetings, et cetera. We just try to work together and network to improve the websites. Keeping up with technology, as you know, is impossible. When we launch that new website in 2004, it will immediately become out of date. because there's something new will happen that afternoon. So keeping ahead is almost impossible, but catching up and staying up to date is important. Please understand that when you're using the administrative part of the website that if you don't understand how something is supposed to work, never hesitate to ask. There's no owner's manual for this. We do have a limited number of instructional manuals and videos that I'll allude to here later. But lots of times, and we also found out there's generally no transition in county conservation boards locally. So when someone moves on, a lot of that knowledge about the website is lost, and we understand that. So we understand there's going to be constantly a need for meetings like this and other new training. And also know, and I will point these out this morning, that there are some things that you might inadvertently do that may affect the website's operation and therefore impact other counties. So it's important to know that. And always ask questions. There's no dumb one. I kind of joke when we, in 07, started building this thing, we intentionally built it for 8th graders. Not to insult anybody, it's just that, okay, let's keep it simple. And so as we look forward to building the new one, it's the same sort of plan. I referenced the award-winning website aspect, and that is because of all of us. And by gosh, I don't know, it's still fun for me after 16, 17 years working on this. And once you get things mastered, you will find out that it's way important to have fun doing this and what you can do. And so that's one of the more boring slides with all those bullet points on it. So historically, just briefly, in 2007, the 3 counties were actually looking at building their own websites independently. We kind of I was with Linn County at the time, and we independently all kind of discovered that the other 2 were doing it. So we formed a cooperative effort to build the website for our 3 needs. And then realized that, well, if we're doing it for 3, let's do it for 99. And so I think we're forever indebted to those 3 counties that shelled out nearly $90,000 between the 3 of them to build the original My County Parks that was launched in 09. And so we're very fortunate and thankful for that. Today we have 50 counties that are doing some type of online registration or reservation. Some are e-commerce, taking dollars through the website, others are not. But mind you, when we started with those 3 counties, we thought one day we might have 13 or so. So being at 50 is problematic for the administration of the website, the costs, and a lot of other aspects. And so all good things, but who knew? And so here we go. We're currently kind of in discussions, some more in depth than others, but with 4 counties that may be expanding their footprint into online reservations in the next 18 months or so. Have had informal discussions with another handful. And then if you're one of the counties that may have one of these yellow triangles, it's because your program, whether it's an expansive environmental ed program or the fact that you have cabins, those are kind of the 2 major criteria that we identify for counties that would benefit from some sort of online registration or reservations. And so from that original 3, we've identified that really 92 counties, basically all of us, would really benefit from participating on some kind of online registration system. And why not have it be the one that we're all using together? Because it collectively helps us all. As I remind everybody all the time, as our developers remind me, the existing website is made up of 1 million lines of code. And there's some of the lines there in the background of this screen. On each of those million lines is 500,000 characters. And so when we talk about rebuilding the website, or we talk about making a minuscule little adjustment, anytime any of that is done, it impacts this code. We own the code as a county conservation system, but when you adjust something in one little corner, it may have an impact on another little corner. So we go through quite a bit of testing before we roll out any new versions and or new website and or changes. But not always do we do all the testing that you might do or what our persnickety customers might try. So when you stumble on something that's you seem a little bit out of whack, then let us know, because that may be something that we're not aware of. So thank you for that. Another one of our unique aspects is most websites have 1 to 5 administrators, and they're the only ones that work on the backside of any given website. Because of the nature of our system, where we had 99 counties that needed access to their portion of the website, and we kind of thought, okay, there's going to be 99 administrators. Today we have 460. That's well over half the employees in the county conservation system. There's only 722 of you. And so that's a unique management problem, so to speak, because any one of you could break something. And we know that not everybody has the proper training or experience, and sometimes it's seasonal. This time of year is a good time for a meeting because no one would show up in July per se. So we understand that some of you only have a chance to get to the backside of the website on a seasonal basis. The other aspect is, so that's one of my customer bases is 460 of you. The other is 186,535 users. So on any given day, any one of the users or you may have a question or a need. This is the scope of our day. And so it's important to know these things in the background so that each county will have their own subset of customers. The broader website has, you know, a whole bunch of registered users, and this continues to grow at exponential increases as the years have gone by. So know that there's the different kinds of users that we have, different kinds of administrators, and we'll touch base on some of that here coming up. And so then there's financial aspects of the website that's important to understand. And we track pretty good the numbers. It's pretty easy on a website to count how many things go through it. Boy, it's been phenomenal to watch this thing just do what it does. And the yellow line there towards the bottom are projections for this calendar year that's got 2 more months to go yet. And you can see the bottom left-hand corner. These are numbers as of a couple days ago. So things aren't progressing. I mean, one year we added 12 counties, you know, of you all jumping on board. So that obviously is a significant increase in some of those years. And now we're adding 2 or 3, 4 counties a year. So it's not as great a growth, but yet the growth is trending upwards. And we're anticipating that when the new website rolls out with all the QR code changes and everything, that we'll have a myriad of new numbers to share. All positive, all moving forward, all bringing us more revenue and more situations and problems sometimes. So for a moment here, think collectively, all of you here at this meeting. I think we may have 10 counties or so. But if we think about the fact that our system has over 11,000 campsites and only 1,200 of them are reservable, there's a lot of room for growth there. Another aspect of who we are is the 27,000 events that occur county by county across our system each year. And only 1,900 of them appear on My County Parks in any given year. And so as you think about those two aspects, we're doing a great job, but just think of the potential here. If we could actually get this these sort of numbers maybe doubled, tripled from what we're currently doing, there's a lot of potential that you all have the opportunity to help us with. So sharing those numbers with you. And a little more things, we discovered that our users now, we have demographics that are in developers and others share with us from across the industry. And 80-some% of our users are on a mobile device, which then brings in the connectivity issue, which I'll talk about here in a minute, because that's different no matter where you're at. And they basically want to scan, they want to pay, and they want to go do and play what they came here to do. So we've got to do a consistently better job of making anything they sign up for, anything they pay for, as quick as possible, as short as possible, and let them get on with what their day is. And so this is where our thinking's at going into the new website, to make it faster, to make it mobile, and to make it a customer and administrator more user-friendly setup. And we'll cover a lot of that here this morning. And then real briefly on the budgets, we didn't have a budget till 2018. We actually had no money. And so all these things we've been doing up to 2018 was by either one year we had about 9 counties chip in some money to help make some changes. When we started in 2009, our budget was $22,000, and that was all from user fees that we assessed to counties to use the website. And now you can see there with our 24 budget, our budget for this current fiscal year is $312,000. And that, of course, includes a lot of the development for the new site. But, you know, it's just a monster now. And so this is why we have my position funded by the website to help take us forward. And there's going to be more changes in the short term here as we continue to move forward. For example, November in the bottom left-hand corner, that's what we pay per month to host the website on secure servers. Prior to this month, it was only $836 a month. So that's an immediate change that totally impacts how we are able to do business. It makes us more secure. It's all a positive thing. And then I usually get the question of, well, how much does each county pay to help this website? Collectively, 99 counties pay $10,000. So that doesn't even cover our cost of operations. And I think the next slide probably shows what each county pays. So it's pretty a minuscule amount of your individual budgets. And you can see it here. It's 6.4% of your annual dues to ICCS pay for, goes towards the website. And obviously, if your dues are higher, a little more money goes to the website. So it's a pretty good bargain that you're getting all this connectivity, operations, and functionalities for, in many cases, less than $100 a year. And so the only reason we're able to do these fantastic capital improvements right now is because we instituted the processing fee, which is assessed to our users when they book something primarily, and that has generated revenue for us to go forward. So a couple other pieces of the story that are going to change and that we've had all these years. We've had this outdoor adventure guide since 1967. It's been a printed copy. We have not printed since 2012. The version that is still available online currently through mycountyparks.org that you can sort through and print off is a 2012 version. We are very conscious in 2012 not to put any dates in that book, just because we didn't know how many more we would print. At one time, we printed 20,000 a year. Our last printing was 5,300, and there's absolutely no appetite to print any more from anybody. Nobody wants to order them. Nobody wants to pay for them, and therefore, when our Page Turn Pro contract went silent earlier in 2022, we moved the online version over to mycountyparks.org. And as we move on to the new website in 2024, this online feature will go away. So it's currently available on .org through that link at the top, but it'll be removed as soon as we move forward. Another item to share, which is something nobody ever wants to think about, but we were hacked in 2020. This affected 3,900 of our customers who we had to, by federal law, contact individually and offer them protection and other things. And so this caused us to immediately up our game in the cybersecurity arena. And so I know most of you don't have cybersecurity insurance, but we carry it for what we do. And we are a very low risk website because we don't retain any credit card information. But yeah, someone was able to get into our system and through some advertising portals and harvest some of that information. So anyway, we upped our game and secured the site and went forward, but it was a year's worth of work to clean up from that hack. And we now pay a fairly significant premium on an annual basis for $1 million worth of cyber extortion coverage. I'm not so worried about getting hacked. I'm worried about someone hijacking our URL and holding us for ransom. That is the trend that we hear from the insurance companies. And they would basically shut us down until we paid what they asked for. And fortunately, we're not that big an animal, but as we continue to grow, that could be an issue. So anyway, sorry for being a Debbie Downer, but I had to mention that. A little bit about QR codes and some of the changes we made in 2022. We added a guest checkout. This was a request from you all that came through your customers that you really wanted to, people didn't want to build a profile. Well, that's fine, but we still had to have a checkout means for guests. So we added that last year. Is a fairly significant expense. But in 2022, 31% of all the new users were using guest checkout. So little do they know in guest checkout, and you should know this too, when you check out as a guest, wherever you're doing that, is the website will retain your essential information that you have to fill out in order to register and or pay for a facility. So we do have we can print out a list of all our guest users, and we still have all that data from each of those anyway. So they fall into one of these security levels that you see here on the right side of the various, when we read through the data that we have. And then the QR code aspect is, I'll delve into this more towards the end, but this kind of exploded at our e-commerce summit last month with a level of interest that was exciting. And we recently signed a contract this week to put on the fast track redevelopment of our QR code engine to produce these, as well as to make them no longer static, but interactive, and also to make 2 different kinds of QR codes that we can use them for point of sale type activities, like paying on site for a campsite, paying on site for firewood, paying on site for other things. These will mostly be a part of the new build in later 2024, but the fast track means that next spring, by the time camping season is open, we hope to have pay at the site QR codes available for you all to utilize for camping, because this is one of the arenas that we want to expand into, and we feel that this is a very good way to do that. And it'd be operating something simple like this, except it'll be a improved version that'll be a lot quicker than what we currently do. We have 3 counties that are currently doing this, actually 4, that have a QR code at the campsite. The person scans that, it takes them to the reservation system, and they're able to fill out the forms and pay the money right there in the campground. And so this is currently happening. We're just going to improve that system. And then also in the background, during the course of the last year, we have had 70 items in these different categories that have been through various phases. And we have gone through that over the course of 2023. And we had to get most of these done before we could even begin work on the all new site. We got all the I guess I would say the simple ones done and rolled out, and we're now onto the major aspects of this checklist. And this is what the checklist pages look like with me going back and forth with our developer. And those are the green check mark are the pages we have completed in 2022. And you'll see a lot of red ink on the final pages. Well, that's because we're still going back and forth with the developer on what aspects of these we really want to see in the final product. And so our goal is to finish that by spring so that they can start the construction in the final versions of the new website. And so most of these have been rolled out. As we release these changes on the previous couple pages, I write an issue of the Bytes newsletter and send that out to all involved counties. I'm currently working on a November issue. I got page 1 done because we have new things to roll out. And it'll look something like this one. If you want to delve into these, if you did not read them when they came out before, they're on the same page that the ICCS newsletters are posted on, out on mycountyparks.org. So they're always available for your reference. So if you want to backtrack and see what was rolled out and the changes that we've had in the past year, all that's on there. So I'm being a little presumptive here that I already have the this meeting, the Zoom meeting on here, that it was a great success. So don't disappoint me today so that I don't have to change the newsletter. So, another thing we introduced in 2023 was a support button. So when you log in as a county administrator, in the upper right-hand corner of your landing page, you will see this support button. And what that does, we needed, prior to June, I would get emails, I would get phone calls, I would get scratch notes at a meeting. We had a really non-productive way to track ideas and improvements or emergencies, whatever it might be. And so we constructed this support aspect for county administrators. So when you have an issue, when you have an idea, when you have a suggestion, this system is now in place. And if you send me an email, I will simply ask you to go into the support system now and enter this. It's pretty simple. Some of the screenshots, the main feature is this, is to come up with ideas for the future and ideas that you'd like to see in the next renovation, something like that. But it also can secondarily be bugs that you tripped up on or your customers complained about. Please send those in via this system, because then I get immediate notice that there's a new entry here that we can deal with. And the forms you fill out are digital like this on the website. You can add a URL, you can add screenshots, and then make notes in there. And then when you click add feedback, we both get confirmation emails. It appears on my database inside the system, who it came from, when it came from, what the idea was. And then we also have the ability, this is the email that I get with the description of what was sent in by you all. And then in the database, I can see, I can search through that, and then I can change it from ones I haven't seen to those in process or some that are completed. And so it's just a very good way for us to move forward. And mind you, I'm probably only going to do this for 2-3 more years, and then there'll be somebody else in my chair. And this is one of those big steps that we had to do in order to pave the way for the future, because there'll be obviously some of these things that aren't completed, but this will be the way to document that. So I thank you in advance for using that. I mentioned earlier that we signed a contract for building the new website. This was on Thursday, October 12th. You can see there the price tag for it. We knew it was going to be $250,000, so that didn't shock us. We have the money in the bank because of our diligence and saving for the last 5 years. And so we're ready to rock and roll. There's a couple of screenshots there of what the website may look like with the photos. And then around the perimeter of the screen here are all the bullet points of what's going to be new. And that's pretty much everything. You know, everything will be reworked primarily from the perspective of the public user. A lot of the back screen things that you work with as administrators will be relatively the same. So even going over some of it today is worthy of your time, because a lot of the back screen won't change. The bulk of it will be for the users and the marketing aspects. So just a couple of points here. Most of you were familiar with the 2-year-long, week by week, 99 counties in 99 weeks effort we did on both our Facebook pages. And uniquely, while we were impacting all 99 counties marketing, we had some great things that happened. One of that was the, over 2,200 great photos that we now have archived for our use. And we reached out to hundreds of thousands of people. The downside of that was we had about 15, 20 counties that really cared and participated. The rest of that was all done in-house by ICCS. So a little bit of a disappointment there. And so I reference that because this was a free opportunity for you all to market yourselves. And another one of those, we're just wrapping up, where we provided this opportunity on My County Parks for you to participate in promoting your county. And we were going to partner with the tourism office once we reach 50 counties. We never got there. Again, 30% participation. And so going forward, my point here is not to, well, yes, to thank those that did participate, but, this effort is a collective effort to market our system and therefore market you all and get people to your part of the website and to your county, to your programs, to your facilities. And we need the buy-in from you all, so to speak, with mindset and participation. We need to do better. We can't just, really surge forward at 30%. We need 80%, 90%, knowing, of course, that 100% is really hard to come by. And so a little note here before we get, I'm not even to 101 training yet, folks. I'm just updating you. So we, in the connectivity issue I mentioned earlier, as you know, through your own personal life or from your areas that you work in, either cell signal or internet may not be the best. And so this is problematic as we look at QR code reservations, as we look at anything we're trying to do on mobile devices, is that we need to have either good cell phone signal or good Wi-Fi. And when that gets interrupted, when folks are trying to book something, that becomes problematic. And so this past year, we identified one of the areas that this was a problem and put in place a system to help catch these problems when they occur. And just so you know, this is how things work. And it involves our e-commerce operations. And so when someone's on the buyer, the user is on their mobile device, and they're looking at things on the website and they choose to purchase or reserve or register for something, then they fill out a form. And if they're going to pay money, it goes into our authorized.net, which is our payment gateway provider through a third-party vendor, which of those 50 counties doing e-commerce, they all have their own authorized.net accounts also. And so that goes through there. Authorized.net, the payment gateway, then sends that information out to the credit card network interchange, which I don't even pretend to know what that is or where it's at. I just know that it happens. It goes through all this in microseconds, fires back to authorized.net, the payment gateway. It sends a confirmation to your CCB and a note to the issuing bank of the customer, who will then, the money will eventually show up in your bank, perhaps up to 48 hours later. And so that's how it's supposed to work. What is happening with this connectivity issue where these red lines are is that the feedback is not necessarily getting back to My County Parks from when a credit card is charged. So with that, this happens about one time in 9,000 events. So it's not very common, but when it does happen, it's frustrating to the customer and frustrating to you as a county. Because when this is interrupted, the customer doesn't get a confirmation, nor do you. And so, but we get their money. And so we got to rectify that. So what we did is institute this system. So when a customer is checking out, you may or may not know this, but at the point they are asked to enter their credit card, they actually leave mycountyparks.com and go to our payment gateway, authorized.net. And this is also what they do for all 50 of those other authorized.nets. It leaves My County Parks and they enter their personal information. This is a change we made when we were hacked, so that it was no longer occurring on our website. The transfer of customer personal payment card information was now going on the authorized.net payment gateway. So therefore, we don't retain that information, and the information is entered on their site. And then this is where something new in the website we instituted called a cron job picks up this activity and will determine whether there was an interruption in the signal or not. Again, all microseconds. If there is an interruption, 2 emails are sent out immediately. One goes to the customer and one goes to the county administrator, so that you as a county administrator would know that, hey, this transaction occurred. We also, with this change in 2023 in June, we canceled the authorized.net payment. So when this occurs, their credit cards are not charged. They may say that there's in their credit card admin, they may see a charge, but as you know, frequently credit or businesses will put a temporary hold on a credit card just to ensure that it's going to work. So that may be what they're seeing, but we do cancel the payment request and they are not charged. But so you as an administrator get this particular email, and then they get this one. And so this tells them that it did not go through, and recommend that they contact the county, give them the name of the county's email address, and the county's phone number. So between the two entities that were affected by this interruption, they're both notified, and the system works pretty well with a 99.9% effective rate. So we're catching all those ones that were slipping by. So primarily for e-commerce counties, but an important aspect of changes in the last year. So I do get a question. I've had a couple of these recently, and this may impact some of you that are new to My County Parks in an e-commerce county already, is that there are two accounts that you have as an individual county conservation board that are related to the website operations, but they are third-party vendors that you have a personal county account with. One is your county's merchant account, which is attached to your bank account. And this is what enables the credit card funds after the credit card network to deposit into your bank account. So that's a merchant account. A couple of them that we routinely hear about are at the bottom of the screen: Heartland Payment Systems and Evo Payments. Those are merchant account partners that you may have. I believe there's about 12 different ones across our system. There's no consistency, but we do have consistency with the payment gateway account, which is authorized.net. That's the only one that we allow currently to be installed on your portion of mycountyparks.com to act as your county's payment gateway. There's very important code numbers that you get when you sign up for these accounts that connect you to cybersecurity into the website, and then allows these online payments to be accepted. So when you make a change with a merchant account, that is not attached to My County Parks. So if you are changing from a current Heartland system, say, to Evo Payments or to another vendor, you can do that through your desktops with authorized.net. You're no need to contact me because that does not affect My County Parks. If for some reason your payment gateway, authorized.net, you change code numbers, or sometimes it's out of your hands and it occurs at the hands of the treasurer's office or something. If something goes down and you're not receiving registrations that are payments, then we need to work together to get that rectified. So again, this screen's out there in this PowerPoint after the fact for your reference. So once we get all the pieces put together and it's all working properly, that's how it should work. And again, if it's all working, it's all microseconds over and done with. But you should know that when you're booking things online involving payments, you're going to get 2 emails for every purchase that is made, whether it's an event or a facility. One from authorized.net, one from My County Parks. If you only get one of the 2, there's a glitch somewhere. And so you should always be getting both of them to the email address you have provided to us to send those to. Okay. The other thing I've had a couple of requests for in the last week or so, if you are looking at moving into online reservations, registrations that take money, this is e-commerce. And we have a checklist. I call it the Bible, kind of, because this is a start to finish. And I just say, follow the checklist. As we're going through the process, I ask where you're at, because if you follow this, we've done this 50 times, so we know these steps. And it's just a good thing to follow. It's out there in the portal, as well as I'm happy to email you one. But that gives you a step-by-step means of moving forward, or a good reference for you if you have problems. So that's a good document just to have on hand for you. All right, so I'm going to go through about 10 or 15 minutes of what you're here for today is the orientation. And then Then we'll take a quick 5-minute break around the top of the hour and then wrap it up. So this will go kind of fast, and I'm hoping my voice will hold. Any questions at this juncture? Okay, awesome. Let's go. All right, so I feel obliged to mention cookies right at the top of any discussion I have. On the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you see the issues reported to me by your users and or you as administrators. 90% of the time is because of cookies on the devices, okay? This can be a mobile device, this can be your desktop, but when you're working on My County Parks, even as administrator, you've got to mentally just know that you need to shut down and clean out your browser on a daily, if not hourly basis, to eliminate cookies. At the top of this screen is a browser line with a untold number of open windows. I don't know if yours ever look like this, but mine frequently do. And if you've got more than one My County Parks administrative dashboard tag up there, that means you have two browser windows open on that. So you got two sets of cookies brewing. This can be problematic, as I'll mention here later on in a case study. So understand this. Also understand how this works on mobile devices such as smartphones. Have you ever cleaned the cookies out of your personal smartphone browsers? My guess is not most of you have. Well, that's important too. And you may have to help your customers walk through this. So unless you've done this on your own, you need to understand the steps you go through on your personal phone, the type of browser you use, what it looks like, because your customers may need assistance on cleaning their browsers. Because by and large, most customers never shut off their computers, nor do they ever, clean out cookies, as we have found. So important aspect of utilizing My County Parks. My County Parks is, just tell you right up front, as the developers tell me, is heavy into cookies. Cookies make temporary internet files that make your experience as an administrator and the experience of our users more pleasurable, more efficient. But cookies are retained by your browsers on your devices and computers. And so next time you come in, they're meant to make it easier for you. But if you have a really old cache of cookies, your experience is going to be tainted by old information. And frequently users find that out, that they've got cookies that are months old, maybe last time they came to My County Parks, which is showing facilities that aren't available anymore. So you need to understand how that works and be prepared to have that discussion. Okay. A few things about profiles, because this is a confusing point to you as our administrators and users. When you log into being an administrator on My County Parks, you go through the screen on the left. This is where you log in. This generally will land you, if you're signing in as a county administrator, to the county administrative page where you can then work on the website. In that administrative area is also the portal, which has contact information. And this is the portal contact profile. These two are not interactive to each other. So even though we have 1,300 board members and employees in the portal contact database, it has nothing to do with managing My County Parks. Okay, those are two separate, distinct profiles. Okay, so on the right side of the screen, you see a profile for a county administrator, in this case, the Clark County County Administrator. And on the bottom, you see the same individual in his contact detail in the portal. This portal is where we scoop the personnel directory information, where we scoop your email addresses. This is very important for you all as administrators to keep up to date, because we scoop it approximately every quarter. And we don't just update new stuff. We dump the entire database that we have and put in a new one. So it's important, if you have new employees or changes in email addresses, to get them into the portal contact information so that we have that at our access. Am I on my soapbox a little bit? Probably so. And then there's a big conundrum, still is, even though we updated it, about what level of security should I have as an employee to work on the website. And so we updated a lot of this in 2021 because we didn't have exactly what we needed. But so this is a handout. Granted, there's a lot of minutia here, but this talks about, and this is available in the portal and on mycountyparks.org, or it's on this screen when you go visit this PowerPoint later. But these are the current administrative profiles for working on the website or signing in to be an administrator to some aspect of the website. They all have different authorities, abilities to work on things. So granted, the county administrator is a blanket one. You can do anything you want on the backside of the website as a county administrator. But if you have employees that have no business working on every aspect of the website, you can look at one of the other profiles, and it's kind of up to you as a county administrator, up to your director locally. I don't set up these. If you're a county administrator, you can set up an additional county administrator or delete them, So understand that, it's all in your hands as far as what you have for administrators. We used to govern that very tightly. It just became impossible to do so. So we cross our fingers and hope it works well. Okay, so in the backside of the portal, we have these, the portal is a secure intranet, if you will, for county conservation only. So this is a billboard sort of thing that we wanted in the 1980s that we finally got in 2013. And so this is a great resource for us, and you see the 5 tabs that are in there. So when you log in as any sort of administrator, you have different authorities within the portal or access to the portal. You may not have access to it. It all depends on your level of assignment there. So this is where in the contact section, I just referencing is 1,322 current contacts. We have a filing system within there. There are hundreds of files in there that have specific needs for administration of our county conservation system, and that is sortable by keywords. So it's just a future reference for us to look into things. Many of you are familiar with the job postings. Many of you maybe found your current existing job while looking at My County Parks for the job openings. This is administered through the jobs tab in the portal. And then our best practices, which you may or may not ever seen one, but that generally goes out to all directors. And then if you'd like to receive those best practices emails when they come through, again, a sortable system for our future. So if someone's inquired about disc golf courses or how to build a shower house, historically in there are 424 posted to date, and that just is a historic list that remains in there, sortable for our future. So that's in a nutshell what the portal looks like. And these are the landing screens when you're working on those. And then your account as a person able to work on that portal is highlighted there also. So in a nutshell, that's the portal. I point out, take a break here shortly. I point out Jackson County's listing of their board members and employees as being perfect, because this is what yours should look like. You should have all your employees properly titled, properly identified, phone numbers, mailing address. The full addresses for your board members is important because of legislative needs. If we have a need and we have board members that could contact a legislator in a certain district, we need to have those addresses in there, as well as employees. So we encourage you to update this on a regular basis. Anytime you have a change of employees or staff or board members, please go in and update this. We give you a heads up of when this is going to be updated, usually a month ahead of time to get this done. And so please help us out. We've gone a long way in making this better over the years. And looky there, we're doing one at the end of this month. So in November, please go in there. If you've never, and we do have probably 12 counties that have not been in this database since 2013. It's not our job to do that for you, but we would think you would want to check that and go in there and update it. So please consider that and get in there and update that for us. The files I referenced, this is what they kind of look like, and some great resources in there for, you can see that some of the titles and annual reports, County Conservation Board Administration, firewood. I mean, just go through these are the files, and counties across the state can upload various products into those and create those files. So great to have. Pretty much most of you are familiar with the employment opportunity, the public view, and then the background there is the what it looks like to fill it out under job detail. It's very easy to do. When you log in, it's primarily identifying your county for you. If you're not seeing any county, then you've got a cookie issue. So it's very easy to utilize. You can pull up a job from last year, update it, and re-release it in the following year. So anyway, great resource for us all. It was long overdue when we constructed that a few years back. So to point out I referenced the best practices, which is a really critical system. What we're seeing here is an example from Pocahontas County that came in a few years back. In his request for information, he noted here that please leave information or reply here, or you can email me directly. Well, this is not the purpose of a best practices retention module. We're trying to maintain stuff historically. So by emailing this to all of you or responding to Brian in this case, outside of the best practices system does not retain that information for us. And so we have the edit authority when these come in before we send them out statewide. And in this case, you can see what eventually got sent out, had that yellow box information removed, because we want the information replies made in the portal in the best practices system. So that's retained for people to use in the future. Simple things, simple requests, just ask you to abide by utilizing the system the way it was built. All right, so in rapid succession, we're going to go through a whole bunch of different pages that you will see as an administrator, and primarily these will be talking from a county administrator perspective. I'll go through, I think, pretty much most of the county page here, and then we'll take a 5-minute break. And so some of you may have noticed that other counties have these colorful headers. The new website will have a whole new version of this, but currently, if you would like to have your header be custom made, you have the ability to do that, to upload either one photo, and in this case, Des Moines County has put together a collage of photos and put their logo into their upload, and so you can do that. And so this can be done when you land on your county dashboard and you are in your Edit County tab. You have this as one of the options. And you can see these bullet points. These are all the things that you can do under the Edit County function of the page that you have landed on. Our recommendation is always that you have this contact information in the lower right-hand part of the screen. When a customer lands on your page, that should be visible wherever you put it. You may have to visit your own homepage to see how it's working. But in this case, Black Hawk County has all the essentials available right there on their homepage. And this is an administrative box in the admin where they see this, because the customer therefore doesn't have to scroll to find contact information for you. In this case, I'm picking on Hamilton County, but this is their current page. This is where you land. You see a QR code for a survey, and you see some important information in a video, but you don't see any contact information for Hamilton County. So my recommendation to them, of course, would be to move things around on their homepage and just make it different. And then by virtue of looking at Hardin County, we see here that when you land on their current homepage, their information is right there for the customers to access where it should be. And this is the way the websites currently look and develop. So have a look at yours and see where you fit into this category. Backing up, you can see some of these other headers that counties have installed. Some are very creative. Some are just one long skinny snippet out of a beautiful fall foliage color. And you can see there's some parameters here for the size of the photo, and you should try to aspire with the photo you're going to upload to match these pixels and the size when you are creating those photos so that they look proper when they are uploaded. In the example at the bottom there, I think I probably did that. I took a smaller photo of a nice scenic lake photo, uploaded that to Lynn County, and when it was turned on, it didn't fill the header of it because the photo was too small. Great photo, but just did not go across the breadth of the screen. This will change a little bit with the new website, but currently you have that ability to upload what you wish on that page. Okay, also in your edit county section is the ability to edit a standard email footer. Now this can impact if you are doing online reservations for e-commerce or registrations that are free. Whenever somebody signs up or registers or purchases something from you, they get a confirmation email. And you get one email footer that goes out to all of those. So you need to have whatever language in this particular footer that accomplishes information to what you want to say to each of those customers, because this is what that is at the bottom. I have a demo coming up of what that is. And after this, we'll take a break. So on the left is the email receipt that goes to customers. Okay, in this case, they purchased a campsite in Lynn County. So they get their order number, the date and time. They are suggested to bring this copy of this email as a confirmation, the information about the facility, what they paid, and then their contact information for the customer is all shown on the receipt that goes to them. The footer of these these emails look like on the right. This is from Marion County. So this is all administratively what they have added in that standard email footer information. And so these are things that you can put in there. If you need some samples, I'm happy to email them. You can't go out to the website and steal these from another county because you can't see them unless you purchase something from them, but I do have copies of some of these. And then on the Lynn County side, this is some of the information that they have added to their footer. And notice a lot of these places have phone numbers, hours of operation, maybe email addresses. These are important because think about when your customers are looking at this receipt, other than when they make the initial purchase. It may be when they're trying to find you in the park, 2 years before when they booked the cabin or something like that. They may have a question, they can't get in, there's a tree down, whatever it might be. They may be looking at this printout to contact you. So consider that when you're designing that email footer. And don't just put stuff, because when is this going to occur? More than likely on a weekend or an evening or a holiday when your office is closed, perhaps. So consider that. This is why, mentioning your regular business hours or what emergency numbers could be, because this is when the customer is going to be checking to contact you. Okay. And so, and this is a Polk County one that they have done for their footer that goes out to every reservation and registration that comes in. And it says, during your reservation here, please contact these phone numbers. And these are primarily the cell phone numbers of the park rangers on duty. So just some examples there that you can use as you construct your standard email footers, okay? And before we take a break, the other new footer we just added this year is your ability to respond, have an email input. When a customer wants to contact you, we have this Contact Us tab at the top of the website. This will still be a functionality of the new website. When they hit the Contact Us tab, they then fill out this information of how they would like to contact you, and they choose the county they want to contact. Now, mind you, they may not have the right county. They think they know the right county. But this one, for example, went to Hamilton County, and this was the response that the customer got, telling them that their Contact Us information was received. Thank you for contacting us. And note here on the pop-up here that they get on the screen after submission that we say that someone will respond to your contact within 2 days. So when these come in over the weekend and you see it on Monday for the first time, that's your day to respond. Now, we had to pick a number of days, so we picked 2, thinking that was reasonable. And then we also tell the customer, well, here's where this went. Okay. Now, this is where you can add more information because this is what they get. This is the standard email that they get. If you add contact us email footer information, it will appear below this. Okay. And so this is just a sample. It's on the same Edit County dashboard. There's now a new contact us email tab. And so you can, it is pulling information about your county from your county profile embedded on My County Parks. If you want your hours in there, you can send those to me and I will enter that for you. But in this case, we made a mock-up of what Black Hawk County may have added to this email footer. So you could say, for example, to cover all your bases, if your inquiry is not directly related to facilities or events, programs directly owned, managed by our county, we will do our best to put you in touch. I will tell you, 50% of the time, the question is not for your county. Think of the problems we have. We have an Iowa County. We have a Des Moines County. You can see why the customers are confused. So they just pick a random county and send this in thinking that somebody will help them. So do your best. If you get some question that you can answer, forward it to me. Frequently, I will recognize the park or the campground or the facility name that you may not, and we can at least get it to the right county as quick as possible. Okay. And this is what comes to you. Oh, this came to me. Oh, no, this is one I sent in as a test. So I did a lot of these the last week. So I sent this mock one into Hamilton County. So this was the information that I entered in the red boxes. This was what I filled in as a customer. And then it automatically filled in the county that I selected and the park, because that's where I was at. And then in the green box is what I used as to type in my inquiry to the county. So when you respond to these, when they come to you, understand that if you just click on the email, that is the best way to do it because it is going to the customer. If you click to respond to, these come from a info@mycountyparks.com non-responding address. So when you click on that, it comes to our dead letter box. So understand that you got to copy and paste that email out of there. And I think we did make a change that if you click on that now, it actually goes to that. It opens a new email box. But bottom line is if you're not getting these, please do let us know that, because by and large, you should be receiving these contact us requests through the website. And if you're not getting those, let us know and we'll just confirm what email address they are going to. If you've never confirmed that address with us, some of those are probably since 2013. If you've had a change in directors, a change in staff, a change in email systems, your email may be old. Unless you tell us, we don't know. Okay, so I'm going to pause the share and let's take that we can download data about your county, about the overall website upon request. And so that's something that was sorely needed. And we don't know what it will all do, but it's going to operate on a lot of tags. And so that's being installed currently. So it'll be ready to go with the new site. So if you've got this currently on your part of the website, and it is being updated, and chances are yours is not working very well. Okay, so we're going to shift from the Edit County page to the Edit Park page, which you notice has changed from a tan color to green. This was purposeful so that you know you are in a county now, in a park, not your county admin page. And so there's a lot of things on the admin page here that you can do on this website, on this particular page on the website under Edit Park. And there are required boxes on all these administrative pages. So if it's got a little red asterisk on these fields of information, understand that you really can't save it or go forward until those have the proper information in it. And for your park to work properly on Google Calendars, which will be an even bigger part of the new website, You've got to have the proper coordinates entered in for the park. And so make sure that you get those from a good source. I have forever used Google Earth to fly around and zero in on what I needed the coordinates for. So that, and I've had no problem with that, getting my Google balloons in the right spot. So, or if you've got an IT department or GIS department that has that information for your areas, feel free to use those. But those will become a more and more important aspect of the new website. So ensure that you do have that proper information. You have the opportunity to put a phone number in a park. In fact, it's required. And this is the phone number that is drawn into information that is displayed. And so we found that the phone numbers weren't always being displayed with facilities. So we made it required for the park that that facility is in. And then in the facility, you can see on the bottom screen, we're in the facility administration in that park. And the phone number is no longer required. At one time, it had been required, okay? So if you have that same number in both places, certain things will happen. If you only have it in the required one, other things happen. So know that when you have in the park required phone number entered, when someone is checking out a facility in the pop-up box, that's where that phone number appears. Now, this pop-up box you're seeing here has the words call for availability in the middle. Well, most counties don't want that if they're booking things online. They don't want people calling them. And so this is where the phone number has been entered in the facility page where it's not required. And when there's a phone number in that, it automatically throws it up here and puts in the words call for availability. So if you don't want that in there, this is how you get rid of it, okay? So it's required and it is used in the park page, but not required and not used in the facility page. But if you put it in there and you want people to call, this is how you get that to occur, okay? Whether you're using it, and this is what it looks like with that out of there. So it's nice and clean. So depending on what you need, this is where you do that. In the box on the right at the top, those 4 categories of functionalities are only for e-commerce. It takes money to run those aspects of a page. And so some of those you can't enter or have ability to manipulate unless you have installed that authorized.net payment gateway. That's exactly what turns that stuff on, is when those code numbers are installed. And so otherwise you have all these different things you can do for facilities as far as adding features to them and editing them over time. The nice thing about when you're building campsites or multiple cabins or multiple shelters is that you can build one. Several counties have built what they call a test campsite or a test shelter that they have non-visible on the website, but it is an administrative tool that they can clone. And say you're opening a new 20 campsite campground. You build one and then you clone 19 more. Change the numbers, change the pictures, change information pertaining to a specific campsite, and you can clone those. A much quicker way to build things. So utilize that feature if it's something you need to do. We'll talk more about the amenities and other activities here coming up right now. And so the customers may search through the website. They may not even land on your homepage when they first get there. They may be in the front homepage search engine, and you'll see on the new site, every page has that in the new site, because we want them to get to what they want to go find via map. And I say this at every training, the customer does not care what county you are. You do, it's your identity, you are proud of that, but the customer doesn't know for the most part, and they don't care. They're looking for a cabin, an event, X number of miles from a certain city. They have no idea what the city, county is in, and so they're looking by region or close to an interstate or something like that. So They may be searching by these activities and amenities. So these are marketing tools. If you don't use them, you're lost, I guess. If you do use them, good for you. I mean, they're just tools that you can add to your facilities and parks that will put them into a sort when the customer is searching the website for these features. They will have the ability to look at those. And these are the activities that we currently have. The ones in the 4 red boxes there are all new ones that we've added in the last couple of years. The fall colors one I referenced earlier was actually a new activity, so it's on the website till we take it off. And so, you know, fall colors are going to be there every year. So when people choose that activity, it'll pull up those counties that are highlighted under fall colors. And when we invite the customers to sort through the website, these are the things they can sort by is activities. And so they have these different opportunities to find your facilities if they are so tagged. So, and you'll notice each of these activities has a photo. Well, I'll probably spend way too much time talking about photos in our remaining time, but they are a hugely important part of the new website. And so these activities, you have 19 currently to choose from when you are adding these to a park. Okay, so when you are looking at them, you can add these to a park. These have been added. This administrator has chosen to add 10 activities to this particular park. The activities tab will then appear on your navigation for your county. If you have no activities, then the activities tab will not appear. And so as long as these are installed on a park, this tab will appear for the customers to view. You'll also be in this site-wide search for those particular activities through this park. Okay, and so when people bring up the activities for Briggs Woods Park, they get these pictures and a brief statement. Now you'll notice some of these are very short. You know, they've got the activity listed, but very little information. I would encourage you to provide more information as time goes on when you are looking for something to do, to provide more information about these. Now about the pictures. These are where all these pictures are from. Not a one of them are in Hamilton County. Now this is fine until the customer says, well, where is that place I saw in the picture? I want to go see that in your county. All right, so when you're building activities for a particular park, I encourage you to put your own county's pictures in that particular activity so that you don't have someone else's stuck in there. These are some stock photos that we plugged in a long time ago. And if your county has not changed them, that's what you get. Okay. And so same scenario here is a bigger, these are some that have been modified here on the left, where you can see the default pictures on the right, but the county has, for these parks, chosen some additional local pictures so that when a customer is looking at that activity for that park, it's actually showing a picture from that park. So choose what you want to do, but this is a simple thing to fix and easy for you to do. Understand that there are certain size restrictions on pictures, which I think we're alluding to here, is that if you choose these activities under edit activities and you manage images, this is where you're uploading a new image or related items for that activity. You can add all these to that activity in your administration. And so and here's what it looks like when you have chosen. On the dashboards here, you are in the edit facility, you are in activities. These, on the second screen here, these are the activities that have been loaded into that park, the Don Williams Recreation Area. And so they're empty boxes here because they have not been chosen to add to this facility. So we're in the Don Williams Recreation Area. We're at the cabin 1 named Bass, and the administrator has chosen to add most of the facility activities in this park to this facility. Okay, and so now they will show up as nearby activities to that facility. Okay, and again, the photos should be changed to match Don Williams Park. Otherwise, they are all from somewhere else. Okay. The customers also have an opportunity to look at things on the search engines where it says show as map, not show as a list. So when they ask show as map, you can see what they get are these statewide pictures of Iowa, which doesn't have the counties outlined. It doesn't barely have the state outlined. Okay, so what the customer is looking at then are regions of the state, near Des Moines, big cities, interstates, that sort of thing. This is how Google Earth will throw them up to the customers. And then if they hover on any one of these balloons, if you had your facility properly designated with the latitude and longitude information, then it will have its own particular balloon in this map. And so that's important that you pay attention to that, because that's an important aspect of this marketing when they don't know what county you are nor care. Okay, you're on a statewide map. And I chose cabins because there's some of the fewer campsite map can get pretty busy sometimes, especially if we get say 5,000 on there. But some of the new maps will show what's available and what's not. You know, so if you put in the parameters of dates that you want to go somewhere, it's only going to show facilities that are available. That's available now already with the existing system. You just have to know how to utilize the search system to do that. But it'll be more pronounced on the new system. Okay, so and in this case, when you're looking at these are cabins, there's only one balloon on this map. Well, if you zero in on Google Maps, you'll see that there's actually 7 cabins at this location. So Marion County has done diligence and put the coordinates for each one of their cabins in this location. And therefore, when the customer zooms in on this, they can actually see and then flip it over to Earth View. And they can see the water, they can see the shade, they can see the fire pits, everything that goes along with those cabins, all courtesy of Google. So it's important to have that aspect of your facilities built in. Okay, and it is optional. You don't have to do that for facilities, but we encourage you to do so that you do get the balloons where they belong. Okay, and so we're going to switch a little over here from activities to amenities. They are different. Amenities are, primarily for a more focused aspect of a facility, and you have the ability to add amenities to your facilities. And you can see the customers might have all these different search engines that they put into a search for cabins. They want to search a cabin, they want biking, they want canoeing and kayaking, disc golf, they want everything in the world. And so when they're searching, they may search by these very finite amenities or activities. And so they can put these in there for their search, and then the search will display, depending on if they put a date in, what's available with what they're looking for. And the new website will have enhanced abilities to do this, but it does currently exist. Okay. And so similar to amenities, in your dashboard, under facility, under amenities, you have all these different amenities that you can add to your facilities. And on the public view, on the facility page, they will see all these icons that are embedded with each of these facilities, with these amenities. There we go. And so so be sure to use them if they are of use to you. We have added we've added Wi-Fi over time. We added the electric vehicle charging station. Not only pets prohibitive, but pet friendly. If you encourage the use of pets, use that one, because customers do sort for that. So utilize these amenities and activities to the best that you wish to, but they are certainly a big plus to your marketing and outreach. So you all have the ability to add navigation to your home page, actually to all your pages within My County Parks. The navigation is here this is a section of the home page of your website where you see these navigation points. The left box here where we have content highlighted is the navigation in your Edit County portion of your administration part of the website. You choose content. This is where you can add and manage these navigation points. And to the right here is a statement. This contact portion of the website is only meant for you to add a navigation line over here, get the person to go to that page, and then offload them to somewhere else, to another page within My County Parks, or perhaps to another page on a different website. It's not meant to be, they are not dynamic pages. You can't do all the functionalities that you do on a park or facility page or an event page. They're just different. They cause a change in navigation on the website, which is why you can't do a lot of the things that you can on a dynamic page. So we do have a development manual for this page, this particular aspect, how you set this up and what the do's and don'ts are. So that's available in the portal also, or I can email you that too also. So those are available. I use this a lot myself. And so just as an example, in 2023, we had a partnership with the Iowa Tourism Office where we partnered with them on pop-up ads on social media. We spent about $6,000 on marketing you all, and we had to have a landing page for the advertising. And so the pop-up ads would, when people click on them, they would land on this page on My County Parks, which is titled 2023 Adventures. And this is what I had then built in a content portion that I have access to. And as you can see, what this essentially is a list of topics with a link. And this link would take you to the activity sections of My County Parks to have more information. And then at the bottom, I added some links to various aspects of information about county conservation. And that's essentially what your content tab is meant for you to add some brief information. The picture at the top up here is just one picture. I made a collage in Word. I snapshotted it, made a picture out of it, and therefore an easy load. The more stuff you add to this stuff, the longer it takes to load, the less time your customer is going to spend there. So make it quick, make it easy, make it simple, and use your content development wisely from that point. Along the same line, it also makes for a faster experience for customers if we give them links and not PDFs to open. So this is where a secondary website comes in handy for you, where you can load all the documents and then link to your My County Parks presence with those. And you see here on the left side, we have a county that loaded all PDFs, which are slow and cumbersome. And on the right, we had a county that loaded all links. That's the difference in the icon that you see. And it's just quicker, and it reduces the amount of image space that the website generates that we get billed for. So if we have links that open up quickly and aren't pulling up, we're all proud of our brochures and newsletters, but those are huge, as you know, files. And when they have to open up and labor on the website for a while, that just causes the clock to tick on use on the website. So believe it or not, a lot of the things that ICCS uses is an integration between mycountyparks.org and mycountyparks.com, and we link back and forth amongst to and from each other, and that's why it doesn't hurt. Maybe you have access to your county's general website. Maybe you have a website of your own, or like we did, we just went out and got a Weebly website that we use, and we pay an annual fee for, a place to put PDFs and to share stuff. Everything for Winterfest that you may have used is all linked through mycountyparks.org page we have there. So this is what it's all about. When you go to mycountyparks.org, this is the landing page, and you have the different things that we use administratively. It's not really a public page, but we do link a lot of things through. It's actually sometimes easier to use in My County Parks because it's not as complicated. It's only serving me. It's not serving 99 counties for administration. And so I encourage you to look at what you can do to do that. And talk briefly about events, because this is another major aspect of the website. 50% of the recent development and upgrades we've done involves changes to the event registration system for counties. In the past year, our use of the event registration system by county conservation boards has dropped by 30%, which is worrisome. I've made presentations to the last 2 IAN meetings about utilizing the system, and we've got no more buy-in. And so I'm not saying the future's questionable, but we just wonder why. What do we need to do to make this easier? Some of the new adjustments, the use of QR codes and that will help the entire aspect of what we do. But you know, this is just another avenue for you to market your system, to utilize the database development of what online registrations do for you, because everything that goes through an event registration system goes into a database. You're developing these things. And do you really want to answer the phone for all your events? Do you really want to get emails for all your events? Why not use a system that'll help you? Sorry, off my soapbox. But anyway, this is what it looks like when you land on an edit event details page. And as you scroll through some of these things, when you have a chance to look at these, there's a lot of opportunities for you to manage images, have a waiting list. We made a lot of improvements to the waiting list this last couple months. The registrations, the cutoff dates, the go live dates. You can build stuff in advance, have it go live on when you want it to. You can now register right up until the time the event starts instead of having an advanced cutoff. So there's a lot of new happenings in the event arena. And you have these options over here to register online, just show up, call to register, email, whatever you want to do as far as registration types. And a lot of counties have just started with free registrations that they have. It costs you nothing to get set up to do that. And actually it costs $150 to get you set up, but we pay that for you to get you in the door on utilizing the system. So consider that if you're not, and get in there, start nursing around, looking at what other people do, and see if that'll fit into your program. Because knowing there's 27,000 events across the state on an annual basis, and we've got 1,300 that appear, we just know, well, how's the rest of that getting done? And how can we help you as counties get those on there? So news stories are similar to events where you can feature news on your homepage if you're looking to announce that you have a closure due to something. Let me pause maybe here and remind you that all we're talking about here on My County Parks is you're only going to find valuable if you are driving people to My County Parks through your newsletters, through social media. Doesn't do you a whole lot of good to spend a lot of time on any website if you're not driving people to it, which is what our collective effort is, to drive people to My County Parks, which is why we have millions upon millions of visitors each year. But to get them to find you through all these connections, your activities, your amenities, your postings, your keywords, all these things that will be part of the future. How do we help you get there, right? How do we help you get you to link to and drive people to this part of your marketing, part of your county conservation board? So you have these news events that work in a similar way that you can feature on your page. The new website will have our ability to tag some of these news events across the state as feature events on the home page of the website. So when people land, they get to see your event or news item pop right in their face. So other opportunities there for you, and connect with social media. So I promise you I talk a little bit more about pictures. There's 2 lines of photos on this page. Major difference, I think you can tell, is color, clarity, and sunshine, right? Even here at the e-commerce summit, if some of you are there, one of the things the developer who spoke at the meeting reminded us of, but the pictures need to be good ones. You can't run out on a cloudy or snowy day unless you're trying to promote a winter activity or event, when you really should be having these dynamic color photos. The upper left photo of the 4 children and an adult in the cabin, well, that's me, my 3 kids, and I grabbed the neighbor kid, and we staged all that crap in the cabin. So if you've got kids, promise them an adventure. At that downtime, it only cost me an ice cream cone. you know, and we go out and get into a facility and set it up. And what better way to get a great picture? Put the camera on a tripod and there you go. And so utilize what you got where you can and get these good pictures. And I will tell you again, as Adam and I have been telling everybody at district meetings and all, the new website will require you to have a vast assortment of photos ready to go. So if you haven't been taking them this summer, start taking them now, get seasonal pictures, get sunshine, start in the spring, because when it comes time to upload next fall, you need to have that resource. We're fortunate that we got a lot of them from the Facebook effort here over the last couple of years. So we've got pretty good resources, but videos are also going to be the other aspect of it. So there's some notes on here about utilizing photos. And another thing you do is install a selfie station. There's about 50 counties that participated in that program because selfie stations are fun. And I got a screen here coming up of those. But when you go to upload a photo, and it's pretty standard across wherever you're uploading a photo in My County Parks, it all looks the same. You can put a caption on the picture if you wish. So when people hover on the photo, it will give them more information. But there are restrictions, a maximum width and a maximum file. Suffice it to say, you can't snap a photo off your cell phone and upload it to My County Parks. It's too big. All right. You're going to have some sort of photo software to manipulate these photos, to fine tune them, to make them worthy of visual on your website, but you can't just do a bunch direct off your phone. So know that ahead of time. I went out to hashtag My County Parks and found these photos that people had posted from various selfie stations in county parks across the state. Free photos, people. If you got a selfie station, go out there and find them, you know, because these are all families having fun, you know. There are a lot of photos I couldn't post because there are families having too much fun, right? Or inappropriate fun. But know that they're out there. If you don't have one, who is at Mitchell County called me the other day, wanted plans for another selfie station because they wanted to put one up for their Christmas event or Halloween event. And so, you know, just because we did them in 2019 doesn't mean we're done. You know, they're a lifetime of opportunity. So keep them up to date, rebuild them if you need to as they weather. But they're popular and they're free for people to post stuff for you. So the other thing is snipping tool. I'm going to operate on the assumption you all know what this is, but if you don't, it is probably the most valuable tool you will ever use on working on the website and or Word documents and or anything you do on your PC, laptop, internet, wherever you're at. It's free. It's a Microsoft Word product by and large, but it has different icons. But this whole PowerPoint was put together with snippets from various things. So it's free. Go use it, learn, understand it. It's great for getting screenshots to send me with errors or problems you're seeing, and do utilize it if you don't already. Many of you don't know that at the bottom of the homepage of mycountyparks.org, we have a statewide calendar for ICCS activities. And so as you may have a leadership role in your district and you're scheduling a district meeting or in the future, or you want to know when Winterfest is, or you want to know when other things are happening that have a regional nature. If someone has told us about them, they appear on our calendar. So anyway, go in there and have a look. At the bottom, you have to scroll down from the page you land on mycountyparks.org, and that calendar is at the bottom. Okay. So we do have these banner ads available for you to use, and they're in two places nowadays. They're either on the bottom of your page or they're on the sidebar of your page under the navigation. If you don't have anything, either of these banner ad locations, then there's default ones that appear in there. And that's where that fall colors picture showed up on the left side of your homepage. That's one of the banner ad areas that I can utilize for counties that put nothing in there. You're welcome to put your own ads in there as you are in these other banner ads. So, you know, use them. It's in the administration of in your dashboard on your Edit County part of the website. We don't really have really good advertising rates because we don't have the click-through machine still working, but you can see how some of these other banner ads have worked over time and the number of click-throughs that they've seen. The new website will have a better system for this, but this is one of the places that hackers got into us, so we had to cut off some of the counters. But you can see some of these other banner ads that counties have put in there, and then the default ones that ICCS plugs in to fill those voids. And then you can link these banner ads to different locations depending on what you put in or what we put in. So just understand that some things work really well and they get a lot of views and they're free. So take advantage of some of these. So I referenced before, this is where that new banner ad works in, and they are under your banner tab on your administration, and you just have to select it by where it appears when you are going into the admin. At the bottom of every page on your part of the website is the long banner ad. In this case, we had everybody in the Les Hills decide to have the Les Hills ad on all the counties that have Les Hills in their county. So that was a joint effort out there. But this fall color one has seen this many views since placement on August 1st. So not too bad a view, for people just seeing this pop up, and then they can click through on that if they choose to. So that's new. These are the different sizes that you choose: below navigation or the full banner, if you are putting one. And these, if you add any of these, they will appear on your section of the website only. If we pick them up and use them site-wide, then they will appear site-wide. But primarily it's just for your section. Some counties have had some success with PF and others to sell that space. I think it'll be easier to do with the new system we will have with the new website. You can see the numbers: 38.5 million views since 2018, 29.9 million views since 2019. These are the site-wide ads that run on all the places you all don't put ads that have links within the website for us. So a lot of good visitation on the website. Occasionally you may be looking for the delete button. There aren't any on everything. Specifically, if you have built a park or you have built a facility, you cannot delete it. Simple email to me that you are done with this facility, the park has been sold, whatever, and I can delete that for you. And then that way I have documentation that you told me to delete it. Mind you, when you delete a park, everything associated with that park also goes away. Facilities, all that stuff. So just know that. That's why we don't let you accidentally delete things in those two cases. So let me know if you need something deleted and we can clean up your background for you. Okay. So we added, most of you have used some aspect of this online organization events. Was a part of the renovation in 2018, where we added our ability to do internal registrations for various things, whether it's through our divisions. Some of you may be actual administrators for this aspect. You have to be assigned to be able to do that by your division to do that. But so far, it's a pretty much flawless system for us. It's working very well, gets the money where it needs to go. And we've had all these different items in yellow, and there's been some flirting with district meeting registration. But I got rid of all the paperwork primarily and moved this all in under one umbrella, and is working very well. So know that that's out there. We're trying to look at it as a potential in-house SurveyMonkey type functionality, so that we don't have to pay $400 to SurveyMonkey every year. So a few brief studies and points of error for you as we get close to wrapping up here in Q&A period. And these are problems that have occurred that we want you to know about. I kind of covered this phone number information earlier, what's required and what's not, but this is how you solve that problem. But they may not be crossing your home page to find a contact number, which is why we are forcing them to show up now as part of the facility pop-up when it shows a phone number. But it's not showing that you can't call for availability. It's just saying, okay, well, if you have a question, this is the phone number you call. So that's a navigation point. These are some areas that we have noted that administrators have been able to break the website. And I have some highlights of these coming up. And it's primarily all duplication. And this primarily runs across when you haven't been on the website for 5-6 months because you've been busy administering life and other things in your county. You come back and you forgot how to do something and you have to accidentally duplicate something. This can be a problem. So this was a actual quote from a park ranger who was trying to administer, check something on a website in Western Iowa. And when he brought up his administration, he could see all 99 counties. Well, that isn't normal. No, that's not normal. No, you can't go in there and manipulate and break other counties. That's a cookie issue, right? Because you normally can't see that. But as you can tell, he was on his smartphone. Turned out he'd never cleaned his cookies out, okay? So as we highlight that, this is where you need to clean out those cookies. And this is what that park officer had to do in order to solve that problem when he was logging in as an administrator to check reservations on his aspect of My County Parks. So know that that exists out there. And I would offer to you that the best way to work on the website is through a laptop or PC or maybe a tablet. It's just, it's bigger, you have more access to things. So if you get another email wondering if something was going on because they're getting order numbers from a shelter that doesn't exist in a particular area, well, this is because they inadvertently nuked an entire park. And so therefore, all kinds of things went haywire. And so being as the contact came from a particular county, we knew where to look. And they were copying across open browsers, more than one, as I referenced earlier. And when you copy that item, the cookies come with it, and the cookies supplanted the other cookies and nuked the park on the site they wanted to keep. So never fear, we can go to a backed up version of My County Parks and rebuild what you destroyed. But be cognizant of duplicating things. And we are making some steps on the new website so that we don't inadvertently have this happen. Because these are errors, but it's also diligence on your part as administrator to make sure that you are not duplicating something that already exists. And this can happen with amenities and other aspects of things that may have already been installed and you're duplicating those, okay? So these are just some of the issues that cause this to occur. And one of the ways you can solve some of the cookies is when you're copy and pasting, is paste as plain text in your admin, because that strips all the code out of the background of the text. But your browser tabs, as I mentioned before, like you see across the bottom, you should not have this many browsers open when you're working administratively on the website, because the danger of this can occur, especially if you're copying from one facility to another, okay? So occasionally you will contact me and say, hey, we lost all our navigation, which Iowa County did on one day. And I said, yes, you have. You've got home and nothing else. So this happens alphabetically. So this tells me that somebody above I had caused the problem. So I went to Benton County and they looked pretty good. So it was between Benton and Iowa. And I checked Cass. Well, Cass was the same as Iowa. So we're isolating this a little bit. And I checked Carroll. And Carroll only had partial navigation, which this now tells us through experience that they're the culprit, okay? So, and so there's a logbook. I can tell when you're logged in, what you're doing, what you're breaking, that sort of thing. And so it makes it a little easier for me to go in and isolate what's happened. And so I knew this was occurring in Carroll County, so I went and pulled up the Carroll County. What turned out to be Valerie was no longer an employee there, but another employee was using her website, her web presence. Aha! Anyway, so it tells me maybe too that this person didn't know exactly what they were doing, but they were updating activities, et cetera, and duplicated some things. And this then caused the navigation to break. Okay, so I call out to and asked for Valerie, which is when I found out Valerie is no longer there. And I said, well, who was using her profile this morning? And this is how we tracked down those things and found out that she had duplicated an activity, put 2 campings on the same park. Well, this will break the navigation for every county alphabetically below you. And this is how we tell it happens. Then we back up, we get it fixed generally quickly. Everything still works. The public can still see all your sites and everything. It's just that short navigation on the left side of your pages is not working. And once we get the site plan restored, it's all up and running. And now that I know how to do it, we can fix it. It doesn't cost us any money to do it per se. So thanks for your assist on that. When you are naming facilities and other things, simplicity and non-code characters in the title will help misfunctions of those facilities. So we all know that code is made up of different symbols and letters. And so ampersands, colons, semicolons, that sort of thing may cause navigation in a title to go wacko, okay? So eliminate those, okay? When you're titling something, make sure that you don't have those in there. The other thing is, how many site 9s or cabin number 1s do you think we have in the state? Multiple, okay? So perhaps give them a little more identity by relating them to the area or something more specific in your titles, because these are navigation points that can break. And so if we get rid of the code and then maybe title them better when you're constructing them, or if you have any of these out there, and these are just some more of them. Another thing on your occupancy, don't put in the title that it's 6 to 8 people. It may very well be that, but choose one or the other, okay? And that's how that cabin will be marketed, okay? And so just understand that these sort of things in a title of something, it could be an event, could be facility, either be more specific to help the customer or to help yourselves, or make sure that your title is pretty clean and doesn't have these characters in it. And 2 things here. How many winter hikes you suppose there are? How many winter newsletters you suppose there might be across the state? Or a spring 2016, in this case, newsletter. So understand that you're not the only one listing things, and you may list something identically to someone else because you don't know any better. I mean, I'm just saying. So understand that, and so give the title of your what you're posting a little bit different. And then if you're the customer looking at a string of news items or events upcoming, and you look at that list right there with the yellow arrows on it, the bulk of them have no photos. Is that going to draw you to that event? I'm just picking on photos again. And you look here on the right. Don't the ones with photos entice you to look at them more rather than the 2 that don't? Give that some thought. Because the marketing is just priceless when you got great photos there. Okay, cabins are a unique animal. We have about 280 of them in approximately 60 counties across the state. So not everybody's got them, but a lot of you do. They need to be tagged with a cabin activity to help the marketing, because they get sorted by that way also. And we've got a whole bunch of them on the site that are not tagged. So they don't come up in the search all the time. So just a heads up that you can rectify that. And so, when we look at these listings like this, we just keep asking these questions. We can do a better job of making sure they're tagged and uploaded and linked. And this is how they appear on the map. And as you can see here, there's no way to tell what county these cabins are in. Absolutely no way. They can tell by, this is a Google map, they can tell by city, they can tell by roadways. And if they know Iowa well, they can find the dotted line that is the Iowa outline. But by and large, this is how they search for us, is by those latitude and longitude numbers on your facilities. So just know this is how it looks, right? Okay, a little bit here about donations. This is only for counties that have e-commerce setup because you are taking money over the website, but you can have a donations tab on your navigation and accept dollars for different things. And you can see some of these from Story, Clinton, and Lane County that, I encourage you, if this is something you might be interested in, go look at how they do it. We have some upgrades to the donation operation coming up with a new version. We're doing some of those new things right now. Same thing with the titles and navigational type things. They have to be functional to work here. Okay. So real quick look as we wrap up here are some screenshots of the new website. When people land coming in our front door, this is actually a movie they see at the top. Right now it has 3 8-second videos that scroll across there. And these are just prototypes, mind you. We immediately, as you will notice in the other screenshots coming up, the immediate ability to search, to check for dates. This is what the public wants. And so this is what the new will look like, just in a couple of screenshots here. Okay. So, well, you all still have your own county listings, but again, we provide that keyword search, events, facility types, different choices of amenities and things. Upcoming events will be listed there at the top, right across the top. Events are going to be a choice that people can start looking for you and your facilities and your events. And first and foremost, they have the opportunity to sort and search, not necessarily go to your county, but look for events and facilities of what their primary interest is, as well as the career page. These will be top and foremost so that people can find us. And so an example of what a page looks like, they only built us one, was all of Polk County. And so on each of your home pages, you will have this wonderful big photo color header that you will need to upload. Otherwise you will get a default like you currently do. And then these massive big photos that you'll be able to have on your home page. You're going to have featured facilities. Notice each of those facilities has an awesome photo and additional information, ability to book now, to check availability. All that's right up at front in their faces. Okay. Same with popular parks. And you get to designate all this stuff and add those photos that you'll be taking over the next 12 months, right? Nearby amenities or activities. You got a restaurant perhaps that you want to partner with, and maybe they'll pay you a little advertising money. You got other things you want to do and highlight nearby. Amenities and activities nearby your facility or your park. Okay. And then we realize that almost 100% of you have another website. And so on your homepage, it will be a place that you can immediately take people to your other website. We have a lot of counties that just use My County Parks for their reservations. That's fine. We have 3 websites that we use as ICCS. And they're all interlinked. So we know this is part of your operation also. So on the homepage, we make this opportunity for you to get people where they want to go. So similar to the homepage, this is just a made up page about a phantom cottage in Lake Icaria over in Adams County. And so when people go to that facility, they'll have these large photos to look at. We ask them to design this somewhat like VRBO, so that you can have all this immediate information, checkability, check-in, pricing right in your face when you land on that facility. They'll all be geolocated so you can tell where they're at right there below the picture. Okay. And then again, you have this ability to highlight other things going on with awesome photos, come up with new activity names. That cook some meat one was not one I threw in there, but that's one they threw in for testing purposes. And so these new facility pages are going to be very exciting. Same with the events. There'll be an opportunity for all these events to be pulled into one page, which currently exists. But again, look at the photos, people. If you don't have a photo on your event, what's that? How are you going to look? How are you going to look there, right? So just suggesting this be a part of your plan going forward. But this is on a site-wide search, and then we can select some to be popular events. that are on our homepage, but they can also be on your local county's homepage. You know, you can highlight your major annual events or something you got coming up for a Halloween hike, et cetera, that sort of thing. And with that, we have reached the promised 2-hour session that went a little long. I apologize. I'm gonna get out of screen share. And if you do have any questions, I appreciate you all sticking around. I know some of you had to pop off, but sticking around for the length of this. And so if you have any, there's no bad question. If you have something you want clarified, I can go to a screen share on either the new site, it'll take me a minute to get there, or on the existing site. Don't want to say that the new site, it's not wrong to show you how it works right now with the existing site, but it's going to probably be a little bit different on the new site. So with that, my ears are all open, and if you all got to go ahead. That generally tells me I covered everything you could possibly want to know, which isn't true. I will send an email out to you all once the video is uploaded to mycountyparks.org, and I will probably put that PowerPoint out there yet this afternoon, and I'll send you all a link so that you have access to those for your reference. So any final opportunity for questions?
I have a quick question. So, Aaron from Webster County. So all the pictures that we enter now, will those all then be transferred to the new site?
That's a good question. I would like to say that's true, but I'll have to ask the developer, because I know we're going to allow them to be bigger. And because that's one of the requests that we've had over the years is who wants to look at a postage stamp photo. We want to have them bigger to highlight, especially interiors of facilities. So I know they'll be bigger, and if you've got a bunch of small photos that you're required to post nowadays, they will still look small because the new parameters will be larger. So by and large, I know as I scramble around the site and look at photos, we don't necessarily have our best out there. So what I would encourage you to do is to build that reservoir in a digital file on somebody's desktop where you have all those accessible. I will ask that question. It's a good question. I'm thinking they will transfer. That makes sense to me. But they're going to be the size they were when they were uploaded, which was a very small size. So probably not the answer you wanted to hear.
I just didn't want all this effort into putting all these pictures on there and then them not transfer. So maybe
right. I will send an email today and try to include that when I send out the note on the video being available, because I'm sure that's why I said no. There's no bad questions here because someone else probably has the same one. So thank you for Aaron for that. Anything else? Okay, well, no going forward, and I hate to say it this way, my plan is to be here until 2026. So if you're thinking of doing something and you want my nice smiley face to help you, I'll be here. Okay. If you, nor Adam and I don't know what the future holds. We do know what we got a tiger by the tail in front of us now, and we're not changing team for the next 2.5 or so years. But this is year 48 for me. So at some point, the fund has to transfer to someone else. So I encourage you. I'm happy to do a one-on-one Zoom with you, work on your part of the website, answer your questions personally. Or if you have a team group like we saw here today, a couple groups, that's a good way to work with you individually on a specific aspect of the site. And we also have some really fine professionals across the state that I may refer you to also that I don't do event registration like you all do every day. I work with the winter fests and the fall conferences and things. So we have some really crackerjack people that do events every day, and I will refer you to them for specific questions because they're happy to take your call or emails to assist you. Same with facilities. The QR code thing is moving very fast. My guess is I'm going to have a training sometime in January on what this looks like because we want to have it in place and operational early enough in the winter for you to make adjustments if you're going to use those in the field. I mean, they're currently all available for events and QR coding facilities and events. That's all available now. But we're going to enhance that and make it quicker, easier. And that's underway as of Monday this week. So that's as fast as we can get things done. So, but happy to, don't hesitate to email me or call me, send some through the support button. When we have to pick a time to Zoom, but Zoom's a magician for us, allows us to do things that we never could before, especially when it comes to website management one-on-one. So it's a very easy and convenient thing for you and me. So let's just do it. So last call on questions. Otherwise, we'll end things up here, and I'll see you in an email here within the next day or so. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.